What up, folks? It's your boy Versus here. And before I begin this part two, I want to take about maybe 3 minutes to say a few things. Before I begin reviewing these games, Madden and NCAA, and what will be NBA 2K and NBA Live. A lot of people, probably many people, consider me as someone who take, for example, football games and break them down by saying these players aren't executing the proper technique, and the footsteps aren't exact as they would be in real life. Peyton Manning doesn't walk like that, really. you know some things that are kind of out there, and that is not the case here. Very seldom do I actually break down football games and basketball games and talk about the actual techniques. There are many commentators out here that are far better than I am at the proper techniques, and, had been through the proper training and things like that. Far better people out there to give you that type of information better than I could. For example, football, there was a guy named Rosales who I thought, in my opinion, was very, very good at breaking down proper technique in football. He was very good at it. Ryan Moody is very good at it. NY Kia 31. There are some guys out there who really know football, the mechanics of football, down to the T, or at least to a great degree. Now, that's not saying I know nothing, but if you like, I could point you in a direction to where you can get some real knowledge on football technique. What I claim to do in my videos, once I review them, I break down the artificial intelligence in all of these sports games because I have been very active in sports, and I still am active in sports today. And what I'm doing is I'm breaking down what should reasonably happen in these games, what ought to happen in these games by logic and reason within these sports, within the rules, what a reasonable person ought to be doing in certain situations. And the AI system is responsible for that. The AI system is the most important element within all these sports games. Everything else comes second. It doesn't matter how many features and how many gameplay modes that you have and how great the presentation is and the commentators. None of that stuff matters if the AI system is going to run the game improperly. And that has always been number one to me personally in my book. So now you know the first thing I look for at E3, try to figure out as best as I can within the trailers, and now you know that. And it should be the most important thing to you as well. Having a nice Mercedes Benz is completely useless in the hands of an underage teenager who is mentally handicapped and is under the influence, on its way to ultimate destruction. So plan no future for it. Slider sets will now become more important within Madden and NCAA, and here's why. Because once the commentary and the visuals and the audio is above satisfactory, now the incapabilities of the AI system will now shine brighter than ever, and it will become more apparent to everyone because it will be the only thing that they can see. Why is Ray Lewis not playing like Ray Lewis? How is it possible that a punter can throw and be just as accurate as Drew Brees can? How is it possible that Phillip Rivers can be placed on the offensive line and offensively could block anyone that is put in front of him? Those things are the most important elements that should be addressed first. Physics was a great addition to Madden, but again, the AI system should come first. And if that is screwed all up, you will repeat the same process you do every year, every time you go and stand in line to buy Madden. You will buy it, eagerly unwrap it, take it home, play it for maybe a month or two, and then you will begin considering how much exactly can you get when you return it. And can you return it quick enough before the next Madden comes out, and then the price drops down to about $5 after you spent $60 paying for it and only got $10 worth of actual quality from the game. So that's the road you will be headed down. So let's all do our best to try to prevent it. right, here we are. We have NCAA 13. This is the demo. I'm going to do this in real time, and I'm only going to comment when I feel it's actually needed. The kick returns, I should say, they look better. I wish I could see the instant replay because, you know, without the replay, you can only see so much, and you always want to go back and get verification with Madden and NCAA because you can't really rely on the game keeping any type of integrity, especially when it gets late a little bit towards the fourth quarter.
A pass like that is so hard to defend because the defender doesn't have a great play on the ball unless it's underthrown. It's all based on connection between the quarterback and his receiver.
He may have changed things up here.
That was a nice hit right there. I do like that the linebackers can blitz without being, you know, having their progress postponed by a force field or something like that, as this guy breaks the new school record. Um, these school records, I would like to see them have more enthusiasm about, them breaking the record. It doesn't really feel like breaking the record is all that important. Maybe the commentators could in the future talk about it. That's just an idea there.
He's got the two. A quick two-play, 78-yard drive, and they get 8 points after that two-point conversion.
Boy, this offense is explosive. It seems like
Some of these celebrations look the same. I'm going to try an onside kick here just for the sake of this video. Of course, we don't get it. There's a flag. We probably touched it a little bit too soon. Something I also wanted to talk about, the total control passing. In previous versions of this game, you could somewhat place the ball in a direction, that you wanted. Didn't really have the trajectory, but you could place it in a certain location. But it didn't matter because in most cases there would be a safety or a cornerback standing in the exact location that you try to throw it to. For example, you'll see later on, after we just got that pick six, but a little bit later on, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. I kind of want to throw it a little bit to the left, but then you'll see my quarterback, he's going to throw it right to the safety. And I know that happens sometimes in football, but it tends to happen quite too often in this game.
Here's the extra point that can give them the lead. And he tacks on the extra point.
I want to say that I have probably blocked maybe one kick in the past 3 years of playing NCAA and Madden. Not field goals, but like the extra points. I can never, ever, that's going to be another flag, but I can never, ever seem to actually block one. I know that there are videos circulating on YouTube. There's a way that you can trick the computer or something like that, but I never really, like doing that, even though the computer always seems to be tricking us.
They'll start at the 38-yard line.
Visually, from this point, I can't really see too much of an improvement, to be honest. Maybe that'll change later on once I get the full game version and see the different stadiums and uniforms and things like that. Kind of looks the same visually. I won't say gameplay-wise. Gameplay I'm going to talk about in just a moment, but visually doesn't really look too much different. I think they have motion blur, but the crowd and things, they look the same. They have cheerleaders. I would like to see more activity on the sideline from the bench players.
Ball on the 25.
It seems like they're just standing around in the same animation, don't really create any type of atmosphere or any type of live atmosphere going on within the game because they're in the same pose every time unless it's a cut scene or something.
He's rung up 3 touchdown tosses in the half.
Well, the quarterback's going to get a lot of
Again,
credit.
these celebrations look the same. They may change due to how many times you actually play the game. But if there are extra celebrations in the game, feel free to let me know in the comment section below because I'm not exactly sure if there are.
And he adds the extra point. The kicker looks like he's ready to kick this one off. Nice kick, plenty of distance.
Now, quickly on gameplay, I'm going to talk about the AI system. The first 5 blockers in the past, they would always block the first person and then they will run to the opposite end zone because procedural awareness was telling them that they need to head upfield because we've complained in the past that our blockers don't head upfield, but now they head upfield clueless and just, looking for someone to block in front of them when everybody's behind them. In this pass right here, I like to see because you can't get the best of both worlds on the offensive end or defensive end. Sometimes you would see, for example, number 6 here, he would swat, and if he missed the swat and the wide receiver made the catch, he could turn around in midair and tackle you and knock the ball out on the way down. I'm glad to see that that is completely gone. That was really frustrating. This year, they did not add double team blocking on passing plays. They kind of just pass each other off or, pass the defender off to the next person. Would like to see that in the future, sometime near future. The option plays, I noticed that the computer does still somewhat bonehead plays. They will pitch it backwards when it's obvious that they're going to lose so many yards, or they'll pitch it backwards when the running back is not in position, and it would always result in a fumble. That happened a lot in NCAA 12. I made several videos on that. They still do it in, or they still have been doing it in the demo. This is the pass I'm talking about. I kind of wanted to throw it straight forward along that right hash mark, but he throws it exactly like he throws it in NCAA 12. Yes, there are new trajectories, but the ball placement always seems to be going more towards the defender because the computer can't get their player in place, probably, as another way of keeping the score close. I don't know, but that is frustrating. The running animations, there are more foot planting in this game due to the fact that they have reduced the suction and the sliding. The tackle animations would produce so much sliding within the game that it would make the foot planting look absolutely horrible. Now, it's still not perfect, but again, because of the reduced suction in these tackles, sliding is needed less, so the foot planting will look a little bit better. Now, they could have gone about it a different way and actually said to themselves, foot planting is necessary. It demonstrates position and evasive maneuvers are dependent upon it. We should concentrate and focus on the importance of foot planting and actually get it done. That's what they should have said to themselves. There are a lot more wide receiver animations within this game, more sideline catching animations. I do love the fact that you can catch on the run, actually, like literally catch on the run. Usually you would catch, there would be a pause because there would be an animation transition from a catching animation to a running animation. That transition would cause somewhat of a delay, which would also allow the defense to actually catch up and make the tackle before you can get any yards after the catch. That also was frustrating. So to wrap this video up, I am not done reviewing NCAA 13 by a long shot. There are still some more things that I wanted to talk about. Didn't really want to make this video that long, which is why I only showed so much. But look for more NCAA videos in the future. And at this point, it's late. I'm tired. I was a little bit behind schedule. Forgive me on that. I'll do better, and I'll see you guys next time.